Hey all, the viewers are here talking to the void once more. And this month, we've talked a lot about sequels. Particularly, sequels that have been a long time coming. Yesterday, we talked about Three from Hell, which was 14 years after The Devil's Rejects. Zombieland Double Tap, 10 years after the original. And we also talked about The Grudge, which was 11 years since The Grudge 3. Now, Grudge 2 was theatrical. Grudge 3 went direct to DVD. 11 years after that when it took before Grudge was picked back up. Now, today we're not exactly going to talk about a sequel, though. However, as of 3 days from this recording, the sequel is about to come out. 24 years after the original. Today we're touching on The Craft. And yes, it's taken me this long to actually get around to seeing The Craft. I'd seen individual scenes here or there, but never actually sat down and watched the full thing. So, finally getting to it. Seemed like a fitting enough time. Alright, so I don't have the nostalgia a lot of people do have for this one, and a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for it. Now, I did enjoy the movie. I'll say that straight off. I didn't dislike it anyway, but it does have some issues that keep it from being what I'd view as a really great movie. First off, some things I did like. The cast was great. The acting was really good in this one, particularly with the four leads. They are, for the most part, likable and or interesting characters. Not always at the same time, but they do a very good job, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of them if the film was a little longer. I think it would solve one of the main problems this movie does have of it goes from 0 to 100 very quickly. So, let's get into the plot for a sec. So, it's your basic new girl try to fit in at new school. So she, after striking out with the popular kids, she falls in with a group of misfits. Only this time they're witches. They want her to help them complete their circle and do some real magic. Because I guess they can do magic. And particularly our lead girl, Sarah, she always could do little things, but they never worked out quite right. So she's just magic, and so they want her in. As they start using magic to get what they want, sometimes they realize what they want isn't all that great, or they seem to be getting a little drunk on power, particularly the one of the main witches there. Nancy is her name, and she's, well, kind of from the start, you kind of know she's going to be the bad one. She's doing nothing to hide that, and it seems like it just more emphasizes her personality, just kind of kicks it into overdrive, and but how quick she descends into crazy town is it goes way too quick for this to hold a lot of significance. It seems like Sarah just joins a friend group, things are going good. She Then some bad things start happening around them. She starts to question slowing down a little bit, and suddenly everyone's turning against her and now trying to kill her. Went really quick. And it seemed like, well, some of the characters, what they were doing was bad or selfish. The level that they changed in regard to it wasn't always exactly proportional. One of the girls, Bonnie, wanted to fix some of her scars, and afterwards she became rather narcissistic. But at the same time, the level she was then treating her friends after didn't seem to fit. And the other girl, Rochelle, cursed a racist girl and started having her hair fall out. Now, that was an interesting plot line. I did like to see it play out with how bad things got for the girl she cursed. It showed Rochelle showing a little bit of hesitation, but at the same time, it showed the racist girl maybe starting to learn a lesson from it. But they don't really follow up on that, and when it gets towards the climax, she's right there with the other witches trying to attack the main character. Now, during that, they did show some hesitation, but they went total goth version of Mean Girls on her, and it just, if this was like drawn out of for like more of a mini series arc where it had time for this to develop, I think it would have really helped. This just needs some more time to cook, I think. But overall, I did enjoy the movie. It just was a very 90s quick sit. The effects, well, 90s, actually hold up pretty well. Nothing was really overly hokey or cheesy, and giving it 24 years since it's come out, that's saying something, particularly with the uses of magic. Some of the effects are obviously dated, but not terribly so. I don't know if there's too much else to add on this one. I'm gonna give this one a solid 3 out of 5 MacGuffins. It wasn't something I'd probably revisit very often, but I can definitely understand why it spoke to a lot of people back in the day. I don't know if it'll have the same grabbing power these days, but it holds up decently. It just needs a little more to fully grab me. Now, the sequel, The Craft Legacy, it's kind of billing itself as both a sequel and a remake, so I'm not sure if it's what's doing in terms of rebooting things, but it looks like that one may or less be more of the same. I'm not sure. That one's about the same in terms of runtime, so it might run into those same problems if it's going the exact same route, so I'm a little hesitant to jump right on that one. But overall, for the craft for what it was, I did like it. Alright, that should be all for today.